7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Coming soon. Snake River Manufacturing is developing a revolutionary new way to design and build a custom kayak trailer. This modular design lets you customize your trailer one piece at a time, allowing you to grow as you go.
You know, a lot of folks think gorillas can't read. But when the magazine's this good, even I had to subscribe.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for episode 61 of the Kayak Cafe. On this episode, we have a guest who is a great kayak angler who likes to do some catfishing. So I'm excited to bring her in just a second. Just so everyone knows that this episode is brought to you by Snake River Manufacturing. Go check out snakerivermanufacturing.us and check out all of the kayak trailers that Steve and the crew are putting together. If you don't have the ability to get one of his trailers and you already have one, reach out to him. They have their add-ons that can actually be retrofitted to your kayak. So if you have another brand, you may be able to get some of his cool gadgets to make it even better. So go check that out. All right. And this episode is also brought to you by Viking Kayaks, Bixby Motors, Yak Attack, and Team Kayak Series. So if you're not in the Team Kayak Series, get yourself a buddy, a friend, and go. Let me share this with you here. All the pages. All right. Go ahead and get yourself a friend. The next tournament is at Lake Murray, South Carolina, April 3rd and April 4th. The Harris chain has already gone, and they had first place was Militech KBF, second was Bonafide Barbies, third is Networthy, fourth is Professional Amateurs, fifth is Dock Dingers, sixth is Will Kick Your Bass, and seventh is Afflicted Fishing. So I'm sure that they would love to have you out there and join them. So go check out Team Kayak Series on Facebook and get yourself a buddy and go out and have some great fun. So awesome. So without further ado, as I mentioned before, we have a guest that she likes to go catfishing. She likes to go kayaking. She likes to chat, ticking all the boxes for somebody that I need to chat with on the podcast. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in Carrie Emerson. Hello, Carrie. How are you?
Good, Roy. I'm good. Thanks for having me on tonight.
No worries. Thanks for coming on. I'm a little all over the place trying to bounce between screens and, you know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to make all the things go. So how are you this evening?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So for those that don't know you, can you give a brief rundown of who Carrie is and what you like to do?
My name is Carrie. The guys on the James River here in Virginia, where I live, years ago, used to call me the Catfish Queen. You could find me on the James any time of the year out there in my little skiff by myself with my dog, just catfishing up and down the river. Currently live on a farm here in Virginia, and I live for fishing,
Awesome.
especially kayak fishing. You can see my great big Kaku Zulu X3 there in my background.
Nice. So where did you grow up and what role did your childhood play in fishing play in your childhood?
I grew up in Chester, Virginia. My dad always had boats growing up. We had a lake house and a river house. So I was always on the water. I was doing something, if it was going to the beach and surfing or fishing, or it was always something to do with the water. My dad used to take me fishing as a kid. Then my mom taught me more fishing because she was as bad as I am about being on the water. She and I would go out and we'd do whole overnights, just the two of us, just fishing growing up as a kid. Uh, I lived in Texas for a while on Sam Rayburn at the North End and did not know they had alligators there when I first moved there. That was fun to go down to my boat and see a big 14-foot gator next to it, but I shoot him off and got in my boat and went fishing. And then I moved to Florida and continued fishing. I was actually a guide in the Everglades. So fishing has always been a big part of my life.
Wow. If there's a lizard in front of my door, my wife won't go in. So I can't imagine how she would react to a full-on gator. So do you remember the first fish you caught?
It was a perch. It was just a little perch. I was about 7. I had been fishing before that, I'm sure, but I do remember that was the first one I ever caught and reeled in by myself and was so excited.
Yeah, that's a question that when I first asked it, I was like, I wonder how many people actually remember, because I remember my first catch. I went to stay at a friend's house and we were using beetle spins, and I remember this flash, and I remember telling him, there's a snake. It just bit at my lure because I saw this white flash. And then my second cast, because you always try to catch the snake, and I was reeling it in, and it was a crappie, that white flash of the mouth of the crappie. And then, that's when I learned how delicious a crappie is.
Yes, they are delicious.
So who introduced you to fishing first? Was that your dad or?
It was probably a toss up between my dad and my grandfather. He liked to fish. I actually still have some of his very old fiberglass rods. But my grandpa and my dad both used to take me well before Mom did.
And what got you hooked? I mean, because I know I've seen a lot of kids go out there and they go fishing, but
yeah. I don't know really. I have autism, so I was diagnosed late in life. So as a kid, most people, like you were saying, most people take kids fishing, kids have fun for a little while, then they want to drop the pole, run off and do other stuff. And it's probably my autism that made me sit and focus. And I get very focused on what I'm doing, and I'm not one that would just drop everything and run off. I'm sitting there. I've got a goal in mind, and that's what I'm there to catch fish, and that's how I was as a kid. I mean, we'd go out deep sea fishing or whatever, and I never got bored ever. Yeah, I literally could sit there and fish all day long and never get bored. People hate going. There's 2 things people hate doing with me. One is road trips, because I used to drive back and forth from Florida to Virginia. It was a 16-hour drive. I stopped for gas. If you're with me and you got to pee, you better go while I'm filling up, because I don't stop. And the other is fishing, because I don't know when to quit. I have so much fun out there and it's so relaxing. I'll stay. So
So were you always, when was your first encounter with catfish?
growing up on the James, I caught eater-sized catfish. Several years later, I was probably 20 or so, and a friend of mine and I went out, and he had a nice catfish rig, and I'd never, I thought we were just going out for eater size. So he took me out, and I landed a 35-pounder and was just blown away. I was like, I had no idea they got this big.
Yeah.
And after that, it was an addiction. I mean, he took me out a few more times, and then I bought my own boat because, he couldn't always go, and I always wanted to go. So I'd say I'll be 56 this year. So yeah, it's been a while.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I've never really hooked into a large catfish. I mean, the largest catfish I can say is maybe 21 inches maybe. And that was on a spinnerbait. So it wasn't nothing. It was nothing I was going for. It was just something that was very hungry and hit.
Yeah, they'll hit almost anything.
Yeah. What was the moment that fishing became more than a hobby? Because I know growing up you just do certain things, but it seems like this has really stuck with you. What moment? Do you know a moment that it just became part of life?
I can't think of a single moment because it's always been part of my life. It's something I grew up doing and something that I'm passionate about, and I love getting other people into it. I've got this new kayak, but I kept my other kayak, and then I've got two Old Town PDL 106s, and then I've got a little bass, what do they call it, the pond
Tracker.
prowler, 10
Yeah.
feet, the little plastic boat. I have all of those because if people want to go, I'm like, hey, I've got the extra, let's go. So yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I love inviting people to go with me and in introducing them. My friend Paula, she'd never been fishing. And so I took her fishing one time and several years ago, and I made her kiss the catfish. I said that's tradition. When you catch your first fish, you got to kiss it. I said, I'm sorry, it's a catfish, but you still got to kiss it.
That's awesome. Are there any other traditions you have? Any that I need to know about in case we go fishing? Like explain to my wife I got to make out with a fish.
Well, I mean, well, you've been fishing before, so it's just
Okay.
your first fish, so you're good.
So if it happens, it's all voluntary.
Yes,
Great, Carrie.
Hey,
Great.
it's like Vegas. What happens on the fishing boat stays on the fishing boat.
You just made it weird now.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing is I don't want somebody to go with me and in an hour, are you ready to go? I can't deal with that. I'm not ready to go. No. I mean, that's the biggest tradition with me is if you go, don't ask for at least 5 hours if I'm ready to go. Yes. I'll give you the 5-hour mark.
Classy says she's never caught a big catfish. Power fishing is my thing. I can stay out all day long, but I struggle casting and sitting and waiting.
If I've been out sometimes, 8-10 hours without a bite, and it's annoying. It's a struggle because you're sitting there and you're thinking, I've got to retie my bait. I've got to redo this. I got to do this. I got to do, your mind's going 1,000 miles an hour of why am I not getting a bite? And sometimes it's just because the bite's just not there. And, you move around, you move to different spots, you change your baits. Yeah, it's a lot to it. But I'm new to bass. I'm brand new to bass. I was one of those people that always says my fish eats your fish. But now that I'm into bass as well as catfish is just something I'll never give up. That is what I've been doing for 20-something years. I had some great friends along the way who used to take me the Potomac and places like that, and entering tournaments together and things like that. And it got stuck in me once they started showing me how to get these 50 and 60 pounders. And then there's one picture I have on my Facebook page of me holding up a 85 pounder that is so big I can't get him all the way out of the water. And I mean, it's addicting when you start catching the big ones like that. I used to laugh at these guys. Oh, I caught a 8-pound bass, and oh, really? Well, I got a 50-pound catfish. But now that I'm doing bass too, it's like, wow, I caught a 2-pound bass. I'm thrilled. So for me, it's anything I catch, I'm excited about. But Carol there, she's saying, but she is learning. Yes, I am learning, and Carol has been helping me a lot too with it, answering questions and things like that, because I have a lot of questions when it comes to bass fishing.
Carol's awesome. She's also a member of the Women's Fishing Federation. She's
so
a great ambassador. I did not know that. That's
Oh
usually
yeah.
one of my questions when I have the ladies on at some point. Are you a member of it? I like call you out. Like, are you? Why not? What's up? What's wrong? You're not part of the cool kids? Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
uh, Kayla says, I had actually just followed you a few weeks ago. So excited to see you on. That's awesome. Now, back
Well,
to this
thank you.
question here. This
Yeah.
is interesting here because when I see that, the first thing pops in my mind is I think any guy at any point can sit down in front of anything, campfire, wall, and just do nothing. So catfishing is acceptable for that. Now, with that being said, back to this point here, I can see it being harder for the ladies because they don't just chill very often. Are there a lot of women that do catfishing that you know of, or?
There are some women, more women are getting into it now. When I started, um, honestly, I did not know of but a handful across the country that were doing it.
Hmm.
A lot of women go out and they'll go, catfishing for eater size catfish. And because catfish is great, you fry it up and it's good. We do not eat the larger catfish because they taste like sand and dirt and yeah. But there's trophies, catch, photograph, release. Um, but now there are more women getting into catfishing, into trophy catfishing, and I think that's amazing because it is so much. Yeah, you got a lot of time to sit there, but a lot of times too, you'll have six rods out across the back, and all six rods are bouncing, and you've got to figure out which one to
Yeah.
get. And the women that are getting into this now, they're doing it because they love it, and that's what gets me. It's like when you go out there and you catch your first, even
Hmm.
a 20-pound catfish, you're just like you're reeling in a log. But women are getting more into that because now they're like, wow, I just caught that. That was me. And so I'm there's not many women that used to be into it, and more are getting into it, and I'm so glad they are, because I would
Awesome.
love to see an all women's catfishing league.
Oh yeah, she says she thinks it'd be great to catch a giant. I imagine it would. I mean, we're gonna get into the feel of one of those when you're on a kayak. But so, how did you get introduced to kayak fishing? Because I mean, it sounds like you were originally on a boat.
um I had I've had a few boats. I've had several boats.
Paula says she still
And
has a picture of her kissing that fish.
see, yep, that's
Mhm.
Paula. um I got into kayak fishing because I had my boats and everything, and I love my boats. But there were places I wanted to go that I couldn't get a boat into. Super
Mhm.
shallow water or through little creeks to get into a bigger water area. And a friend of mine had a kayak. And when I was in Florida, one of the times I was down there visiting before I moved, and he's like, "Hey, let's go kayaking." So we went kayaking, and he was showing me how you can get into all these places that boats can't go. And I was like, this is awesome. I had no idea that you could do so much with a kayak. And we fished the whole day. We had a ball. I had to pop a gator on the nose with an oar, but he got a little too curious about my catch. But that was the only thing that scared me about kayak fishing in Florida. But then once I got used to it, it was no big deal.
Mhm.
Um, and then I came home from that trip in Florida and I bought a kayak. And then I started going other places with it. And it, I do own a boat right now. I'm probably going to end up selling it. Nice Boston whaler, but I don't use it. I don't like boat ramp drama. With the kayak, when I go to the boat ramp, yes, mine's on a trailer, but you know what? When that ramp's got 20 people sitting waiting to launch, I can literally take that kayak right there, pull her off that trailer, walk her down to the water, put her in, and drive, just go off for the day. I don't worry about it. The kayak to me, it's just a lot easier to manage. Don't have to stop and worry about getting gas for it, engines overheating, any of that. And you get to be you get to do your own thing. You don't always have your friends saying, "Hey, let's take the boat out this weekend. I'll buy the beer." Nope, it's just me and my kayak. I love it.
I like it. So what was your first kayak? What was it? Do you remember?
I do. And Paula will probably remember this too. I had a set of the little cheapo Walmart kayaks,
Mm.
and Paula came down to fish with me in Florida one time, and we took them out on the river down there, and we had a ball for the day.
Yep. Holly said, howdy, she's looking forward to fishing with you.
Oh, me too, Holly. I cannot wait.
Uh-oh. What we got here? And if you do go out with people, you can still do exactly what you want. Yep, that's true.
Yep.
No matter what,
100%.
no matter what Chase is catching, you can stay on the other side of the lake, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I can imagine the step up from where you started. So how did that first kayak perform for you? I mean, what was it like?
Oh, horrible. I hated it. Yeah, there's no real skeg on it. It's just like a little sit inside paddle and hope that you can get where you want to go. But it was horrible, but it didn't deter me.
Yeah.
You know, it just, I didn't know there were other kayaks out there. I thought this is a kayak. You know, I was like, hey, it's kayak, all kayaks are the same. And then I started looking and I'm like, hey, there's so many different kinds of kayak. But this was a long time ago. This is way before a lot of these kayak manufacturers were making these new fancy, nicer kayaks. But there were still other options. And I ended up choosing a different type of kayak. And then I loved that one until I got the next one and then the next one. And now I've got this one. And so, yeah.
So which kayak stands out as your favorite and why?
Absolutely the Zulu X3, the one in my background picture here. It's wide, it's stable, it has a 360-degree swivel seat. Kaku Kayaks makes these, and no, I'm not getting paid to say any of this. I just absolutely love this kayak. There's so much space in it that it's just, you got space in other ones, and I looked at several before I settled on this one. And this one, the whole floor is wide open. I don't know if I can move out of the way so you guys can see the background. There we go. Hey. But
it looks like you just fell.
I did feel like it.
Like, whoa.
But yeah, no, the whole inside of this is just wide open. And that was the thing I love about it, because I took it out Sunday and I was running from the seat to the bow, back and forth. I was standing up on the front of it. I was sitting up on the back of the seat. I could cast. I could use my trolling motor. You see, I got my rod rack on there. It's just so wide open. And it's just, you know, I've got my little cup holder and everything in there. I love the space, because I had literally can take everything with me. And, you know, rough water, it handles, you know, the rivers, it handles your ponds, it handles streams. It's so, I got this thing, I think I was in 3 inches of water at one point. Wow. And we were still just skimming right on across. I had my paddles, I'm just going, and it was 3 or 4 inches of water, and we're just skimming right across it. You know, I pulled my trolling motor up and I'm just jetting on. I mean, it handles so much, and it's got almost a flat bottom. It's got a couple little tunnels inside, but the way that the nose comes up on it, it's a wave break. So when the waves were hitting it the other day, I wasn't getting wet. And oh man, this is definitely my favorite kayak of all. I've got a huge hatch for storage up front, smaller hatch for storage in the back. This thing is just awesome. And I will
Now,
be bringing it to the retreat. So if anybody wants to try it,
heck yeah. Now, does it have scuppers or does it not need them where it's flat?
it does have scuppers. It's got 6 scuppers in it. Most of them are toward the rear of the boat. And the way the inside is designed, it's got these cool channels that run inside of it so that when water gets in, it doesn't just stay on the deck of your boat until it runs out the scupper. It actually goes down into these channels and runs out your scuppers. So the inside of these is very, very, I mean, I love the way it's designed. What you doing, Roy? What you looking at?
I am trying to get that up.
Yes, there we go. Thank you. Yes, different colors, different options. I mean, this thing you can see right there on the front. That's a huge open hatch, and it has a basket that goes down inside of that hatch. And what I did is I unbolted the basket that goes in the front hatch so I could store stuff underneath of that basket, but I've got my ropes and my anchor and all in the basket in that hatch. And he's got tracks everywhere. There's even tracks in the floor because your chair hooks to some of the tracks in the floor. You could add a second chair to the front of it up there. And they mount to that track.
Interesting. Because I was looking at the side view, and I've never seen one of these up close yet. I haven't seen one up close yet. So I thought it was like a flat, almost like a paddleboard, but it's got a little inset to it.
It does. And the inside actually is not flat either. It's got a little bow to the top of it so that the water runs off down into those channels that you see there and runs out your scuppers. This is absolutely the best kayak that I have ever owned.
Okay, listen, not me looking at their website while I'm talking.
Check them out. I'm loving this, the Zulu X3. They have several designs, but this is the one that I absolutely am enamored with this thing.
And it's one of the, I do want to say that he is one of the rare companies that are left that if you call, you talk to him.
Yes, he actually answers his phone. He actually personally answers every text message that comes through the website. He doesn't have other people that do it for him. He does it himself.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to share the video with him right now. See if he hops on.
Yeah, and he also doesn't use a big shipper. He uses personal individuals that do shipping. That way they handle your kayak very carefully. The guy that brought mine was super careful with it. He was a super nice guy. So and they get to you really quick too.
Yeah. And I like it. I mean, watching what you've done to it, and might I say, I don't know if there's a record for rigging out a kayak, like time wise, but I remember you're like, hey, look what I got. And the very next day, you're like, everything's on.
Yeah.
Like you didn't sleep at all. You're just like out there with a wrench and a welder. You're like, how am I going to make this work?
Yeah. Oh, I wasted no time. I mean, I could not wait to get this thing rigged, and I'm not done. I've still got to get bow lights and a stern light, but I did get puck lights for the inside that change colors, and so I put my little. The trolling motor that's on it right now is a Vevor 55 thrust trolling motor. It's heavy. I don't know what that thing weighs, but it weighs a lot. Very heavy motor, but it works great. And underneath of the seat is an actual battery box that's built up above the bottom of the kayak, so water can't get down into that box. And the way Kevin designed the lid, it's got like handles on it that you can run your battery. You can run your leads from your battery out of the lid back to your kayak or to your trolling motor. Oh, I love this thing. I am just, Kevin was great in designing this.
So I would imagine that when you're looking for a fishing kayak, a normal bass or whatever, there's a certain key things you're looking for. When you're planning on pulling in a 50-pound catfish, there's a whole nother group of things you look for. So what features do you look for in a fishing kayak for what you do?
Number one, width and stability.
Mm-hmm. That's what it says on my profile. Width and stability. Sorry. If my wife is watching, she's like, just turn everything off.
Yeah, the width and the stability are two of the main things I look for. Also, being a lot, since you're in a kayak, you're by yourself. And when you're trying to pull a big fish over the side of that kayak, I didn't want one that had too high of a side, because that's where you lose your stability. When you got a higher side on that kayak and you're trying to pull that fish up and over,
Yes.
that really is going to tip you. So the low inside on this, it's not, I'm not even sure. I have to measure and see what the height is inside, but it's not very high. And it sits really close to the water when it's in the water. I love that. So that gives me the ability to just pull that fish right on over the side and get it in the boat. And with all that floor space, I could fit a 50 or 60 pounder in that floor with no problem.
I bet. Yeah. Kayla said, cringe is what my kids would say. Yeah. My wife would too. She doesn't even know. She doesn't talk like that, but she would say it because of that. What advice would you give someone buying their first kayak? Because, I mean, you sound like you're in the same boat, as it were, as I was. I bought a kayak because I wanted a kayak. And then I quickly realized about stability, weight limit. I had like a college course, as it were, going through kayaks to get to where I am. So what advice would you give to someone who is looking to get into fishing?
Number one, do exactly what you did. Research them. Check out every brand, every manufacturer, see what's in your price range. And with all the, I hear a lot of people say, well, I can't afford that. With all the finance stuff you can do today, you got PayPal credit, you got Affirm, you've got all these different credit things that you can use to, if you got a certain amount down, you can use these credit options if you have to. But when you get that kayak, don't waste your money and say, oh, well, I've got $1,200 to spend, but this kayak's 18 and I really like the 1800 one, but I guess I'm just going to get this one. No, don't. Save your money. Do what you got to do. Get the right kayak, because if you don't, you're going to, I know somebody recently that did this. He didn't have a lot of money. I told him, just wait, save your money, get the right kayak. And he didn't. He went right out and bought a Tractor Supply kayak. Hated it. And now he's just not interested in kayaking. He got it, he hated it, and he's like, you know what? I'm not even interested. So yeah. I'd save your money and research. And if you can go on some of these pages, like Kaku has their own Facebook page for people that own Kakus. Find somebody who lives in your state or close by or something, and see if you can go try their kayak. Most kayakers are super generous people. We want you in the sport. We want you to enjoy everything. So a lot of us are willing to say, hey, you know what? Try mine, see what you think. And that way you're not, you're not just getting something because you see it and it's pretty. You can actually take it out and try it.
Oh, yes. So Kayla says, too bad I'm not going to be in South Carolina, or I would give it a try. Sigh. Well, I didn't know that these lovely individuals were willing to travel from Indiana to South Carolina until I opened up my screen and they're like, we're at Relax Retreat in South Carolina. And I'm like, what? Yeah. So I didn't invite anybody because I didn't want to, I didn't want to offer something that I thought was unobtainable. So let me pull that knife out of my back.
Right?
Yeah. If you don't follow Kayla and Chase, the Classy Kayaker, or Oh my gosh, is it Southwest Indiana Outdoors? Kayla, she'll correct me. But they're amazing people still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go out and fish with her one day.
I wouldn't. She's cruel. I mean, sorry, no. She's awesome. So what makes catfishing such a great species to target from a kayak?
Um, it's a challenge. It's more of a challenge to target from a kayak than it is a boat, because I literally hooked into a fish one time
Mm-hmm.
that was so big that I was anchored, and my anchor was dug in. And this fish hooked up with me, and as I'm reeling in, he's dragging me, anchor and all, down the river.
Wow.
And I'm just like, I'm gonna die today. I mean, this is not, but I got him. Eventually, I caught up to him and was able to get him. But what I did is, while I was getting him in, I was kind of angling toward the bank too, because he
Mm-hmm.
was too big. I knew there are going to be some fish you're not going to get in that boat. It's too dangerous to try
Yeah.
it. It's not worth it. But you angle over toward the bank a little bit and you pull that fish with you, you can step out and finish reeling him in, and you're safe. And I always wear a life jacket. I've lost my Uncle Rudy was killed in a boating accident. My stepdad was killed in a boating accident. His friend was killed in a boat with him, was in the same boating accident. And I remember they had to drag the lake for the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never put my family through that, because
Right.
fishing for these big catfish, you never know what could happen. I mean, I could hook into an 80-pounder that just flips me, the kayak, everything over, and God forbid, but if something happens and I drown, I want my body floating where they can see that, they don't have to drag for my body. I'm not putting my family through that.
Yeah, we've mentioned that a couple times. Is that stubborn people who are like, I'm not going to wear it. They're not taking into account the downtime of the surviving family who don't know what happened.
Exactly. And I mean, my stepdad, he went on that fishing trip. We didn't know where he had gone. He just went with his buddy, and didn't come home a few days later when we were expecting him. And next thing you know, they dragged they heard there had been a boating accident, and this was in Lynchburg, Virginia. We lived in Louisa, and because they dragged the river, they found his body, and then it took a few days to identify him. Then we were notified. So we were left for several days not knowing, where he was. And if you hate a life jacket, then get an inflatable. They're just as good. Get an inflatable life jacket. They're not big, they're not bulky. You just throw it on, and if something happens, at least you have something.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, it's use my GoPros to show what's going on. So if something happens, they'll be able to see what happened to me and have closure. Yep. That's true.
And I write my information on my life jacket too, because if I fall in and nobody knows who I am, when they do get my body, there's all my information right there.
That's true. That's right, Kayla. Just wear it.
Yep.
Click it or ticket.
Right?
Wait a minute. That's not it. But yeah, same principle. So what techniques do you use when you target catfish? What's your go-to? Are you a drifter, structure, anchor?
All right, you're gonna laugh. I get a. I'm new to, huh?
You're gonna say dynamite.
No, I'm new to using electronics. I've never really used them. It's funny because I get a feeling. It's people used to laugh at me until they started going fishing with me, and I drive around in the boat or in the kayak or whatever, and I just get a feeling, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try right there. And 9 out of 10 times, I'm hooking up. It's just the feeling that I get of where they're going to be at that moment. I know people think it's crazy, but it works. And
Is this you on the kayak with a dowsing rod going?
yeah, that's it. That's it right
Oh,
there.
right here.
Yep. But no, it's, I just got an Eagle Eye 9 forward facing sonar. So I've had it out like twice. And it's so cool watching the fish. And I'm still learning what's a fish, what's a rock. But I took it out Sunday and I could see some massive catfish on it. And of course, I didn't have my catfish gear with me. But it was funny because before I looked at the screen, I was going around and I'm like, you know what? I think there's going to be a catfish over here. And sure enough, I got the boat right in the area and had that little forward facing sonar and you could see the catfish. And it's just something I've always done. I mean, the drifting and all that, I do it when I'm with other people if I'm on their boat and that's what they do. But as for me, I just kind of tool around until I get a feeling of, hey, I think there's going to be a 50-pounder. So that's my technique.
So how long have you had the forward-facing sonar?
I just got it, so I've only used it twice. Once took it out, and it was a dead cove that I was in. It wasn't on this kayak, it was on my other kayak, and I had steering issues, so I couldn't go out in the big lake. But I was in this little cove, it was a dead cove, so I couldn't see anything. So I just sat there and cast out in front of me. I could watch my little bait drop down and I could bounce it. I was just having a ball with it, just playing. And then Sunday was the second time I used it. So, and I watched my bait actually bounce off the back of a fish, and then the fish took off. So somebody has to teach me how to bass fish. I mean, any volunteers out there, I'll take the help. I'll teach you to catfish, you teach me to bass.
Yeah, I had forward-facing sonar, and I don't fish as much as I want to because of all the things I have going on. And I found myself out with the screen in my hand, just looking around. I'm like, I don't even know what the heck I'm looking at here. And what's sad is you pull up to the ramp, and you've got all this accessorized, overloaded looking, like I'm a Bassmaster Pro out here.
Oh yeah, 3-4 screens, and yeah.
And then you got the video of me sitting in I couldn't catch a cold, like. Yeah. Which is true.
And you say that, and I sit here and I think my kayak is big, and I've had people tell me, oh, well, you got so much stuff on that kayak, and I'm like, actually, I don't, because if you look in the back, I have a cooler. It's a soft-sided small cooler back there. I have my rod rack that I put onto it. My net is just down, it's my small bass net, which has never gotten to get used because I don't know how to bass fish. Over here on the front, you've got the anchor rope. You've got that. My catch board is actually mounted on the Yak Attack swing arm. So that was one thing I wanted to do, because in if I'm trying to enter these bass tournaments and learn, and I don't want to have to try to reach and grab the catch board, put it across my lap, put the fish on it, so I mounted it to the swing arm so that I can just swing it in front of me, set the fish down on it, and take my pictures and swing it back out of the way. And I mean, hey, call me lazy, but there's not that much actually on that kayak. But everybody seems to think, because it's such a big kayak, that I've got all this stuff on it. And it's like, really, I don't. I've got my fishing backpack on there. It's not a lot. And when you see it in person, when it's rigged out like that, you can see it's still wide open inside.
Kayla said they're still learning. She's still learning herself. But you're more than welcome to come fish with her.
I
Although
will.
Virginia sounds prettier, so maybe we need to come there.
Yes, come, Kayla. Come down here. We will hit up some lakes because we have several lakes right here near me that
Mhm.
are battery powered motor only. And I absolutely love that. I mean, you still see bass boats out there, but they're using their trolling motors. But
Right.
mostly you're seeing kayaks and small boats. I love that.
So what do you prefer more, rivers, lakes, or reservoirs for catfish?
That's a toss up. Rivers I know have a lot of good catfish, like James River. In Potomac, they've got some really really nice size, especially if you can get hook into a blue. Oh God. Um, but then again, we have Kerr Lake down here at the Virginia North Carolina border, where this I think it was twice the state record catfish was caught.
Wow.
So yeah, so and I'm right in between all of these places. So for me to go north or south, I'm it's a toss up. It really is a toss up, depending. But I'm gonna be hitting both this summer.
So I see your rod stager on the back. I mean, how stable is that for like if you get a hit? I mean, do you just like leave it on a clicker? And because I would think that the torque of a big catfish would just rip that off.
And you're probably right because I haven't used it yet. I literally have not even used it yet for catfish. I just got it. I just got it in the other day, so I mounted it to the back. But with the mounting it to the kayak, the Kaku kayak where I have it mounted back there is a really thick hull, so I don't think I'm going to have any issues with it ripping out of the kayak itself.
Mhm.
As far as the T-bar goes, I'll have to let you know because I got it off Amazon. Um, it's not bad, but there's some tweaking I need to do to it. I'm gonna have to, there's a few things I've got to do to it to make it really good and stable. But there is one. I am going to be welding my own bar, kayak fishing bar,
Mhm.
and it's going to go because in the back of the Kaku there's two open places for you to mount something, and it's
Mhm.
going to go from one across to the other, and it's going to be good and stable. It's just going to be a solid steel bar, and it's going to have all my rod holders. I've just got to figure out which rod holders to use because I like Monster, and I like, there's a lot of different rod holders out there, and
Right.
I've used a lot of them. So I'm just gonna figure out which ones to put back there. So yeah, it's gonna be an adventure.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Kayla said, "Are you close to South Boston, Virginia? Kayak Adventure Series is going there this year."
Ooh,
And then she said the other page says Pulaski, Virginia.
Kayla, send me the info.
He's talking. She's talking to the outdoor amputee about the episode that we did together. He's
Oh,
from
okay.
he's from Virginia as well.
Yeah, I watched the episode. He's a very interesting guy.
Yes, he gave me a leg. He sent me a leg, and I opened it in front of my oldest son, and I was narrating the whole thing. I was like, "He did not send me a leg," and the toe just boom popped out when I opened it. It was the most amazing thing. Like he could have sent me keys to a new car, and I would not have been happier than having that toe pop out at me. I was like, this dude,
Oh my gosh.
yes. So it's one of those things I needed. It's like the reset of humor that came through with that was just amazing. So, so you touched on your rods and reels. So what kind of rods and reels do you use for catfishing? I mean, because we do a lot of saltwater fishing here, and when we're going out for, let's say, red drum, which are big red drum, or maybe some large striped bass, we have some pretty big level ones. Is that the what you use, or
Um, the ones I have right now, I've had them for ever. I have
Mhm.
not gotten new rods, I know, in a good 10, 15 years. Rods or reels. Just keep up with what I've got. One of them is a B&M rod, and
Mhm.
I won that. So in a tournament, took out some veterans fishing, and they had drawings at the end, and I won that one. I've got a couple of big cat fever rods also, and like I said, I've had them forever. And the reels, go ahead and laugh. They're Bass Pro Shop, just little cheapy reels. I got no issue with them. Never had an issue. And one of my rod and reel combos, you're gonna love this. I had lunch with Bill Dance and a couple other guys several years ago when I lived in Florida. And Bill walked out to my truck and was autographing some stuff for some people. And we were standing there talking because we were going fishing after. And he said something to somebody, I guess one of his assistants, and the assistant came back and gave me a Bill Dance rod and reel
Mm.
catfish combo, autographed it and everything. And he said, "This is for you to get, take home and catch some big fish with." And it's nothing fancy, but I have caught so many big fish on that thing.
That's got a great story as well.
It does. It does. There's a picture on my Facebook page of me with the big three at that luncheon, and then we were going fishing after. So we had a ball.
Yes, I haven't really rubbed elbows with any big names yet. One day I'll get to hang out with the Southwest Indiana people, but I put in my application. It keeps getting denied, but
I can't imagine.
they're like, "I'll never forget you, Raymond. It's Roy. It's on the screen. It's Roy." Yeah. So what's
Oh
one piece
my.
of gear you could not fish without?
Oh, well, of course you. Well, no, I can't say rod and reel because I have noodled also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have done that. I will not do it anymore. A guy I was dating years ago introduced me to that. He actually booked me for a noodling charter on the James River. It's how we met. And he talked me into getting in the water and trying it. And then I was doing it with him. We were competing and everything. And then, it's been some scary moments. It's
Turtles. That's the thing that scares me is turtles.
Well, there's some secrets to it. So
Yeah.
you know what's in the hole before you reach
Three
in.
times. 3 times I caught a catfish.
But I think the scariest time I ever had was well, twice. I forgot to take my watch off, and I reached up in the hole, and my watch got snagged. Now remember, you're underwater. I was probably 10 or 15 feet down, halfway up in this hole. My watch got snagged, and I couldn't get out. I had to try to reach in there with my other hand and try to get my watch off, and I finally did and got out. And the second time was um, big catfish came up, and I mean he was huge, and he ended up swallowing my arm all the way up to here. And when they bite, they bite. It's sandpaper. They hold on. I could not push him off. He took off out of that hole, pulling me backwards with him, and started going down river. Well, I couldn't get away from him. I couldn't get my feet under me because it was too deep, and thought I was going to drown. But I finally got my feet up, but I caught him. I did get him. But then I did learn about the noodling season is when the males are protecting the eggs.
Mm.
And so I did some research and some thinking, and I said, these are the genetics for these big trophy catfish. If I pull him off those eggs and he's got those genetics to grow those 50 or 60-pound fish, then there's nothing there to protect those eggs while he's gone.
That's
So
true.
I have quit noodling because of that, because I would rather see more of the giant catfish than worry about trying to catch them with my hand.
Alan says, come down to Santee for big cats.
Next week. Next week. Or this weekend, actually. This weekend.
Southwest, this is Chase. Said he's been out noodling a bunch, but never actually caught one himself. Seen some giants, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a fan of, like, going places I can't see in the water.
It's scary. I mean, you're under the. I know guys that go down and they use breathing at tubes. They have the they do it from kayaks, and they have they have the little air thing in the kayak, and they've got the tube, and they're down there and they're sucking on the tube trying to go in. But yeah, catfishing is, people don't like it because catfish are slimy. Oh, I don't like a slimy fish. Well, all fish are slimy. Catfish are just a little slimier. But
especially when Carrie makes you kiss them.
Well, yeah. Yeah, one of the things I love it. People talk about bass thumb. Catfishermen, we get cat hands, because when we grab these cats, we're reaching into their mouth and they rub our knuckles with that sandpaper mouth. And I have come home so many trips just bleed. My hands are horrible condition because of catfish and farming.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, they'll rip the skin off and everything, and you're sitting there just, I bare knuckle them. People laugh at me. Why don't you use gloves? I don't need no gloves.
Wrapping your hand up like a prize fighter. You're like, yes.
Right afterwards, I'm just sitting there, you know. I don't need no gloves.
Yeah, man, noodling. You're just full of mystery over there. Like, what's next? Like, oh, one time I was doing trapeze in the south of France, and what's next?
Well, I've had exotic animals too, so
yeah,
you never know. My monkey used to go fishing with me. Yes,
that's
monkey.
Story.
Yeah, story for another day.
Funny. That's funny because my business partner was telling me he went fishing with a friend. This is no lie, in Virginia. I don't know where they were, but they were fishing and they looked out across the water and there was a monkey. And he's like, what is that thing in the boat? And it was a monkey on a boat. That'd be hilarious if that was you.
It might have been. You never know.
Yeah. No
yes,
manicures.
no manicures. I do my nails, and tomorrow this will be destroyed. So.
Yeah. Nails done, and I'm excited over bass thumb. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, so we talked a little bit about the female anglers getting in. So what changes have you seen for women being like accepted in the catfishing community? I mean, has it always been acceptable, or because that's one thing that I ask some of the ladies that come on is like, when you go to a tournament, you know, are you just welcomed in, or are you have to prove yourself and fight your way to the top?
It used to be that way. It's changing. Thankfully, but back when I first started, you know, going out in public fishing,
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had my own boat, I had my own gear, and I did my own thing, and people didn't really, you know, it was a joke. Oh, look at her with her little boat and blah blah blah, and you know, there wasn't much, if any, geared toward women. And not saying all women like pink and purple and sparkly, but I do. I mean, hey, you know what? I'm tough. I'm old. I don't do hair and makeup. I mean, I did tonight because I'm on here for you. Wanted to look pretty for my fans. No,
Me too. I was like, she might make me kiss a fish.
But that was a thing back then. There was not anything for women. You know, when I was out trying to find, you know, clothing, even at Bass Pro, there was very little fishing clothing for women. It was, you know, I'd have to go to the men's department and get a nice, you know, just a UV shirt or something. There wasn't much over there.
Mm-hmm.
now with the uptick in women, and it's not just catfishing, it's all fishing. With the uptick in women, we're seeing more people, especially small companies, and I hate to say it, Bass Pro is still slacking a little bit on the women's fishing apparel. But some of these other companies are putting out more stuff for women. They're making women's custom jerseys, they're making women's fishing pants, they're making, there's so much that it's a huge area that could be capitalized on for making women's accessories for fishing. And men are starting to realize too, women are just as capable as men when it comes to fishing and having their own boat, having their own kayak, doing their own thing. We don't need the men to help us. And I think that they're starting to realize that a little bit more now, and see that, hey, you know what, we're just as capable as they are of going out here and winning a title.
Yeah. I think Kayla may know somebody who can make some clothing for the ladies. I'm not sure. She might.
I think she had something on her page. So
Yeah.
but
She
yeah, I
knows
mean,
people.
oh yeah, and that's the thing. We want more stuff for women fishing, more women anglers.
So what advice do you have for the ladies out there that want to get into fishing but might feel intimidated?
Don't feel intimidated. Just do it. If you want to go out there, I really honestly, I don't think there's a whole lot of women that are intimidated anymore, because if you look at Facebook and you look at some of these YouTube pages, there's so many women. If they're just standing on a bank, if they're in a kayak, if they're going out with their friends, I mean, there's so many women now that are doing it, that I don't think it's like it used to be back when I was first starting and a lot of other women were starting. We were intimidated.
Mhm.
Quick story, I was out one day on my little boat by myself on the James River all day long fishing from sun up to almost sundown, and I kept noticing this guy in his boat following me. And I'm like, this is really weird. But I ignored it. I came back, and we're standing at the dock. There's two docks there, and I tie up my boat, and he pulls up, and he climbs the ladder and gets up on the dock, and he says, "Is your man gone to get your truck?" I said, "Dude, you've seen me out here by myself all day long. There's nobody with me. Why would my man be going to get my truck? I'm going to get my truck." And he said, "Well, women shouldn't be out here by the old guy, rough and gruff. Women shouldn't be out here by themselves and fishing. It ain't, it's dangerous," and just continuing. And the whole time I'm sitting there looking at him on the second dock, and I'm like, okay, listening, watching his boat, which he forgot to tie up, float away down the river. So when he finished his rant, I said, "I'm going to get my truck now. You might want to figure out a way to get your boat. Have a good night." And I walked up the hill, and then he was stuck trying to figure out how to get his boat. So I'm not easily intimidated.
Yes. Yakety Mac. Social media has helped to spotlight women in the sport. That's true.
Yes.
That's very true. Yeah. So.
I mean, there's women like Christine Fisher.
Yep.
I mean, all these famous women.
She's the reason I'm doing the podcast. I had a phone call with her, and we had a great conversation. I was like, this would be a great, people need to hear this. And yeah, I still haven't had her on yet. I've been, she's very busy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
I'm hoping I get that busy one day.
Yeah.
That's my goal. I'm old. I don't care. It's never too late. Never too late.
Never too late. Well, we have hit the 1 hour mark. It just flew right by. So,
oh, it did.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to shout out before we hop off?
I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and everybody who's on my Facebook, and men and women alike, keep doing what you love. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Go out and prove them wrong.
Awesome.
Just do it.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. We've had some great conversations in the past months, and You got this. Rooting for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you get a chance to go fishing with them, I bet that's amazing. They're great people. So,
I'm going to make the trip up there. I'm going to try and plan it this summer.
I joke with Kayla a lot about her, being mean and, it's true. But no, she's great. But awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I'm really inspired by all you do. I appreciate, all of the things that we chat about in the background. We go over and look forward to seeing the rig in person here soon and getting my first walk around the Kaku. So,
yes,
all right, I'm going to go ahead and put you in the background, and then I'm going to say goodbye to everyone, and then I'll be right back with you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
All right, everyone. That was episode 61 with Carrie Emerson. She is a catfish angler from a kayak catching some amazing fish. So I suggest you go follow her and go catch a catfish yourself. So this episode is brought to you by Snake River Manufacturing. Go to snakerivermanufacturing.us and check out all of the kayak trailers that Steve and the crew are putting together. They're amazing kayak trailers. And if you don't have one of his trailers or can't afford it, it's not a big deal. Just look at what you have, look at what he makes, and it can be retrofitted, adapted to possibly fit your kayak trailer. So you can take what you have and make it even better. So, all right. And if you get an opportunity, go to the Team Kayak Series on Facebook and get yourself a buddy and go fish the Team Kayak Series. It's a great opportunity to get out with a friend and get back to what you love to do, fishing and chatting with people, and you get to share bag limits and all the cool stuff. So go check that out. Also, big shout out to Yak Attack, Bixby, and Viking for sponsoring the show as well. So you all have a good evening. Go check out the USA Kayak Fishing Magazine, usakfm.com. We just put out the last issue last month. The new one's going to be in the works coming up for April 1st. And I look forward to seeing you all in the pages one day. So you have a good day, and thank you.